Hi everyone, this is Erin with the Inky Smiles Craft Lounge and inkysmiles.com. Today I'm going to show you a technique that I taught at Creative University this year in February, and it's a lot of fun. It's called Oxy Magic, Magic Oxy, or Foxy Oxy. There's lots of different names for it. It involves using some fun distress stamps, some ink blocks from stamperstorage.com, water spritzer, heat tools, and some OxyClean. It's totally something I wouldn't use in my scrap stuff usually, but I think it'll be fun. So we'll go ahead and get started. This is what we're going to make, our finished product. So the first thing we're going to do is use a cream paper. This is paper from Archivers. It seems to work really well. It's their brand. Not all papers react with OxyClean. I know that coated papers and two-layer papers may not react as well because it uses a kind of a bleaching technique. So the first thing I'm going to do now is grab my distress ink, and I'm using Wild Honey. I'm just going to pounce my ink block into the ink. I'll just pick up some ink there, and then I'm going to just buff it on. And you don't want to drag and rub, you just kind of buff it on. So I've got some in the center there. Now I'm going to use peeled paint, and I'll go ahead and pick up some ink from my ink pad onto my foam with my ink block. Then I'm going to push this in, just kind of buff it in. I want to get it good and saturated, so I'm going to buff it really good. So just push that ink in there. The nice thing about this ink is it stays really wet, and these foams really hold the moisture too, so you can push that ink around a lot. All right, now I'm going to use some Dusty Concord. Can't get enough grape. So we'll just pick up some more ink onto our foam pad with our ink block. All right, and now we're just going to push some purple ink into this. And see how I'm just kind of just buffing it on, pushing it in, moving that ink around. I think I need a little more grape. This technique seems to work the best if you use a lot of color. Really work it in good and dark. There, so I've pushed some of that in. I'm going to push some more ink over under this green and kind of blend it a little bit more. A little bit. There we go. All right, I think actually I might push a little more green back onto that. Kind of blend that in there really well. All right, and now, let me get some of this ink off my fingers just for a sec here. We'll take a little bit of OxyClean, and I'm just using this little spoon, and I'm just kind of spilling it on. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. It's just, oops. I'll just pull that up there. It's just kind of flicked on all over. And now I'm going to take a water bottle and just spritz on some water. Now the water you need to get it good and wet, let it sit for a second, because the water is what activates that OxyClean. Let it sit for a second, and it's going to react with the OxyClean. You can actually kind of see it. Well, I'm going to move my camera down so you guys can see it. There you go. You can kind of see it reacting. Kind of bleaches the color. It kind of pushes the color out. All right. So now I'm going to pick up my heat tool. Be noisy here for a second. I'm going to dry this. I've got my protective mat on my desk. There we go. You can really see it now. Get it good and dry. All right, and now I'm going to put my camera back for a second. Flick off And that is not very dry, but we'll get it dry here in a second. Flick that off, and I'm going to wipe up this extra water in OxiClean. And OxiClean won't hurt you, it just make you nice and clean. Alright, so now I'm going to try drying this again a little better. You can see it's thoroughly saturated on the back. All right, here we go, getting a little better. All right, so now if I wanted to, I would have kept just going, drying it some more, but for our video, I don't think you want to listen to my dryer there, my heat tool, I mean. All right, so it's mostly dry. It's dry enough we can use it. And if you can see all the different splotches and bleach marks that the paper, the OxiClean made with the paper. It's really neat. And I've tried it with salt, and salt works too. Salt does it has a different reaction, and it works differently on all papers, as well as the OxiClean will work different on different kinds of papers. So let me go ahead and pull that out. I'm going to grab my black ink pad, which I forgot. Got it on my ink stack right in front of me. So I'm going to grab my ink pad. I'm going to grab a stamp. And the cool thing about clear stamps is I can wrap them. I don't want this whole bit on there. I only want a little bit of it. So I'm going to wrap it around my acrylic block. I'm going to pick up some ink. I'm using Tuxedo Black by Memento. And I will just decide where I want it. And I'll stamp my image straight down onto the background technique we did here. And then I'd go ahead and attach it to a background of whatever type I'd like to use. And this would actually be fun too if you clear embossed over the ink, or if you did black embossing powder and have it pop even more. So here you go. It's Foxy Oxy, Oxy Magic, or whatever you want to call it. It's using OxiClean, water, and inks and stamps for a really fun background technique. Hope you liked it. Inky Smiles. Have a great day.